At Quiet Mountain Wellness, I talk a lot about self-honor. I talk about self-honoring choices, about the self-honoring lifestyle, and the lifestyle itself is based on the singular self-honoring choice. I want to talk a little bit about, just briefly, about what a self-honoring choice is and what it will do for you in your life. It's likely that you're already making some self-honoring choices. However, when you start to become more conscious of this and are slowing down enough to be able to choose intentionally, I think what you're going to find is the quality of your life, the feeling of life quality is going to improve. My suggestion always with self-honoring choices is that they're done in baby steps. We don't want to make it extra difficult for ourselves to make good choices. And obviously, the best choice is to do this in small increments so that it's manageable, it's sustainable, and it is something that we can continue to build on as our inner strength increases. There really are two kinds of choices. I call them self-honoring choices and self-diminishing choices. But beyond the definition, I want to talk briefly about the kind of choices where you get something immediately. Okay, so let's say you have a craving or you have kind of an inspiration or a desire to do something and you immediately want to get whatever it is. You know, maybe you saw something in a store, you fell in love with this thing, you have to have it, right? So you're going to go in and you're going to buy it. Or maybe you are trying to work on a healthier lifestyle and create that, but then, you pass by a bakery window and you see this thing, or maybe you've had a really stressful day and you just don't have the wherewithal to kind of hold off from giving yourself that thing, because when we get real stressed, we can have a message that comes up that says, I deserve it, right? I deserve this. Why? Well, because at that moment in time, the world is not really cooperating with us, not making us feel like we are getting the things that we really feel we need. And so we're not going to wait, right? We're just going to go out and we're going to get what we want because we deserve it. I'm going to call those the get choices. Now, generally speaking, the get choices are the ones that often result later in an experience of take. When we get something quickly and we do it over and over, that repeated behavior ends up taking things away from us. And we're not always cognizant of that taking part because the taking part very silently kind of builds up, it accumulates. And just like if we were making self-honoring choices and those good results were accumulating in a positive light, as we use these get choices or self-diminishing choices, we end up in a way unconsciously or just not noticing that there's an element of take that is taking things away. Let's say you want to stop smoking and you end up having a stressful day and reaching for that cigarette, right? Every time you reach for that cigarette, you're getting something. You're getting a relaxing routine. You've trained yourself that when you smoke, you can calm down, settle down. You can focus on smoking your cigarette. So that's a get choice. But every time you take a cigarette, are you immediately thinking about what it's taking from you? Is it taking a part of your health? Is it stealing something away from you that actually you value and you don't want to be taken away? So you see how this works. The get choices are the self-diminishing choices that in the moment actually feel like we are doing something good for ourselves, that we are honoring ourselves, that we are doing something nice for ourselves, or we're giving ourselves something that we really think we deserve. But we're doing it we're kind of looking in the opposite direction and not really looking at what that choice will take. So now let's move to a self-honoring choice. As you may well have already ascertained, the self-honoring choice is more of a take first kind of a choice. So what is it going to be taking? If we make a self-honoring choice, it may take away that spontaneous grab of something that we might want immediately. If we have a take choice, it means we have to make an investment in the choice. It means we don't get something from it immediately. So we have to wait for the reward. Okay? We make this investment and it doesn't pay off immediately. It will pay off because eventually there is a get at the opposite end of that choice. So the take choice of self-honor means it's going to take energy, it's going to take some commitment, it's going to take a higher level decision, it's going to take away that instant gratification, and we're going to have to wait for that gratification. As you make your choices throughout your day and start to become aware of this, the things where you are delaying gratification, where you're committing to, investing in, where you are allowing the reward to be postponed, those are the self-honoring choices. And ultimately, what ends up happening is where the get comes later on at the end of a self-honoring choice. The difference between self-diminishing and self-honoring is that the get, what we get from our self-honoring choices actually is far greater than not only what we're immediately getting in a self-diminishing choice, but what we're losing is far less. So let's say when we make a self-diminishing choice and we make that choice 1,000 times, we may be losing our health. When we make a self-honoring choice 1,000 times, even if it's that same little choice, what we are accumulating is something far greater, far more powerful, and far more nourishing in our lives. So we are giving ourselves the things that we need. It's kind of like putting fertilizer on a plant and then expecting it immediately to grow and be green and bear fruit, right? We know that it doesn't work. Think about self-honoring choices as the fertilizer. You have to invest in that. And that means initially that choice will be a take. It's going to take something away. It might take away a little fun, right? If you're trying to get to bed earlier at night, it might take away your ability to stay up later. But the rewards that you'll get, the get from those choices is growing. It is a growing positive that eventually grows enough that it starts to really change and inform and change your life for the better. Ideally, none of us is going to be able to make every single choice a self-honoring choice. And hopefully, none of us are making every single choice as a self-diminishing choice, that choice where we just want to get something immediately and then something is taken later. Ultimately, what we want to do is to bring awareness to this, to watch ourselves, to take a look at the choices we're making, to notice the patterns, to notice the trends of how we're choosing, to frame that over the quality of our life in the current moment, right? If your life feels high quality, then very likely you are making more self-honoring choices than you are self-diminishing. If your life quality doesn't feel super great, then it is more likely that you are making a greater number of self-diminishing choices rather than self-honoring choices. And I hope this makes sense because it's kind of a game of balance. And when you understand, it takes away that urgency that, oh, you better make every choice self-honoring, or you better stop making self-diminishing choices. It just takes away the urgency so that we understand there is that dynamic balance. And as long as we are aware, we are consciously looking at our patterns, noticing the quality of our life, checking in to see how we feel about what's happening, about the level of our existence and health and well-being, about our relationships, and all these things, because it has everything to do with the quality of your life on multiple levels. I hope that you will consider this. Take a look at your own life and just take this tool and learn what the value of that is to you just by evaluating in a gentle way, being curious about what you're doing, noticing what you're doing, and then again, making an adjustment in the proportions of self-diminishing choices to self-honoring choices. It is a beautiful practice. It is a forever upward spiral. It is definitely worth your time if you are interested in improving the quality of your life. And I hope you will. Thanks so much for listening.